Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on. Tonight, Rachel is going to host for her 4-step goal setting process, and how we're really just going to crush 2021. And I'm so excited because goal setting is something that makes me super excited. And it's also something that Rachel just absolutely loves. So I know that she's absolutely going to give you homework that I want you all to commit to doing. If you can't commit to doing the homework for goal setting, then you can't assume that you're going to hit any of those goals to do the work that's required. So she's got some really great stuff for us tonight. Rachel is a 2-star diamond coach and has just such a rock star team. Her team is Faithfully Fit. And just this past year, if anybody is running a faith-based business, please follow her and Michael. They both there's a bunch of us that do, but they just stand out at really putting their faith and running a fitness that way. So I just wanted to preface that for any new coaches that that is something you're interested in doing. She's absolutely amazing at telling her story and being very real. So go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, really quick. So I only actually have one graphic that I'm going to share, but I want to shout some people out. It's the third of the month, right? Yes, it's only the third of the month, and we have some people who are on the Success Club board already. So I want to point them out because I think it's so important. That obviously shows their consistency through November, not just through this month. So Melissa, not only is she already on the Success Club board, but Melissa and her team have just been absolutely crushing it. We are in, once you hit diamond, you get in a private group that we have, and every single day Melissa is just fire. Like, she's showing up every day, she's excited, she's doing her crap, just she's showing up as the leader that she's always been. And it is so fulfilling to all of us to be able to witness that. And she's just incredible. So I just want to take a second, like, snaps to Melissa, because she is absolutely amazing and her team is doing incredible. Maddie, who just had a baby, is on the SC board already. Steph is already on the SC board, and so is Steph's coach, Annie. So congratulations to all of you guys. Annie also qualified for her month 1 success starter. So congratulations. And then I am going to share oh, you have to allow me to share my screen really quick. And then there's one more person I want to shout out really quick, and then we will get into it. Okay. Can you guys see this? It's really small. But Lauren is officially a success starter. She is one of Melissa's coaches. So congratulations to you, Lauren. This is so huge. I cannot wait to see. I'm not sure which program you're going to be, maybe the Shanti one, which will be really exciting. But I cannot wait to watch you through your journey. You guys, success starter is such an honor, especially now that you get to be a part of the test group. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to Melissa. Okay, so I'm going to stop that share, and then I am going to share again. I always have some kind of a screen, you guys. I am a visual learner. This is just works better for me. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through goal setting. I don't want it to just be like a typical goal setting. I want you guys to have a pen and paper. I want you to be paying attention. If you guys are able to put your video on, I want you to be present today, because we're talking about our future, right? And I think if we take this seriously, I know that mom life is going on. If you just got out of the shower, please keep yourself covered. But other than that, I really love to see your faces and just have you be present today. And we're going to talk about a 4-step process that I think can help you really gain clarity through your goal setting process. One more thing I want to preface this by saying is that this isn't something that starts January 1st, right? It's not like January 1st hits and then all of a sudden like some magic happens. Like, if you're setting your goals, January starts right now. Okay. So anything that you're putting into action, the quicker that you start taking that action, the quicker you start doing the work that you need to do in those areas of life, the quicker you're going to reach your goal. So we might as well just start right now. So this is not something that waits until the first of the year. This is why I chose this topic, because I just think it's really important for us to start right now and kind of start visualizing what we want for the upcoming year. Okay, so the 4 steps are going to be, number 1 is going to be to write out your Christmas list, and I will elaborate on all of these. I can't take credit for some of these because I was actually in a goal setting session or group. I want to say either last year or the beginning of this year, that really like brought a lot of this to light for me and resonated with me. 2 is going to be to create your gratitude list. 3 to focus, and 4 is going to be reverse engineering. So, number 1, we're going to write out your Christmas list. This was explained to me and it made total sense. So, other than you, Casey, because you're a child, you're a baby. But for when I was younger, I remember when November would come along, me and my 5 siblings, we would get, those JC Penney's catalogs or Toys R Us catalogs or the Sears catalogs. And we would go through them and start circling in magic marker what toys we wanted for Christmas. And we would create our Christmas list, right? Um, and that's going to be pretty much what we're doing. We are going to think about what it is that we want our life to look like. This isn't just year goals. It's going to be easier for you guys to set your 3 to focus when you understand what it is you want out of your life, because not everybody wants the same things. And you can't look at somebody else's goal and just think that it looks pretty and then put it on your paper. Okay. I've made that mistake so many times by just saying, like, I feel like this is the next goal, but I felt like God was leading me in a different direction. So you have to be clear with your own goals. Okay, so I want you to be specific too. As a child, like we had 6 children. Okay, so not only did I know I wasn't getting everything on my Christmas list, I knew I was most likely going to be getting a lot of generic versions of what I really wanted. But I knew if I was going to be as specific as possible, I was more likely to get what I wanted. Okay, so I don't want you to just put generic things down and put that you would like a new car or you want to reach financial freedom. I want you to put that number down. I want you to put down how much of an income you want to make. What kind of vehicle do you want? When you wake up in the morning, what is it that your dream house looks like? Where are you? What is your spouse doing? Are they, still working their current job? Are they maybe retired? Are they working a job that maybe brings them a little bit more fulfillment? Are you, waking up being able to drive your kids to school in the morning because you don't have to rush to your job? Everything. Like, what does your day look like? I just want you to walk through it, and take the time to really think about what that number looks like that's in your bank account, how you spend your day, what charities you would love to give to, everything. And be bold, you guys. I'm going to bring faith into some of this. And if you guys are non believers, that's okay, whether you believe in God or the universe. But I know what God is capable of doing. So don't insult him. Don't say that you feel selfish or greedy asking for things, you guys. Be bold, okay? Because if you can dream it and you're willing to work for it, he's going to provide it for you. But you have to be willing to put that dream out there. Okay. You can't like dumb it down for him. You have to put it out there and say, this is what I want. And you have to have that clarity. Okay. The other thing is a lot of the times we put these rank goals and these income goals and all these things, and we forget about the traits and qualities and characteristics of ourselves that we need to grow in. And this was something that was huge for me this year. I set my word for 2020 as joy, as finding joy in this year. And God quickly showed me that that word was going to be abide. And I had to abide in him all throughout the year. And I found myself giving more and I found myself serving more. And it was like, I was preparing my heart for what was to come. But in order to be able to give, my husband and I were able to give more this year than we've ever given. I had to be able to make more than to be able to give that. So I think, especially as moms, sometimes when we make our Christmas list, when we make our goals, we make it so family focused. And I want you to allow yourself to be selfish for a minute. Allow yourself to dream. Your dreams matter. And if you have a daughter or a child, you don't want them to grow up to just be in this circle of, I'm just going to raise my children and then that's it. And then they're going to raise their children and then that's it. No, like I want them to see that I set big goals and that they get to witness me working hard for them and achieving them so that I can teach them and help them achieve their big goals too. So moms, especially, we're the worst at this. Be willing to dream. Okay. Put it all down on paper. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want you to dream. I want you to put everything that you want in life on that piece of paper. And I want you to also be willing to put the areas of life that you need to grow in. I'm going to give you an example. For me, I really struggled with discipline for a long time. Discipline with my food, discipline with my actions. I was a chronic people pleaser. And that's something through this year that I really had to let go, right? It was not serving me to be a people pleaser. It was not serving me to be impulsive, right? So if you guys saw me, there were a couple times this year, I mean, that I gave up alcohol. I gave up alcohol 2 months and then I gave it up for 75 days again because I knew that it was something that wasn't serving me and I just didn't have control over. It wasn't that I drank often, but when I did drink, I felt obligated to drink more. And I didn't like that. I didn't like how it made me feel. So it was something that I had to work on. And this is the hardest part of leadership. It is admitting to yourself that you're not disciplined, that you're not consistent, that you may not be as hard of a worker as you want to be. That's okay, you guys. That is what leadership is. It's stepping up to the plate and walking through your own shortcomings, SHIT, and just saying, this is an area of life that I need to grow into, and I'm willing to do the work and take the next step that it takes to get there. Okay. So I want to make sure that when you're setting your goals, that you're putting those areas of life, even if it's motherhood. Like I literally put on mine, I need to stop yelling at my kids so much. Like, stop raising your voice, Rachel. If you want to grow in your marriage and your relationship, like those things, put those down. Those matter. Okay. And then number 2, before you ask for more, what are you grateful for? I know for myself, and I'm going to, reference parenting a lot with this, but when I'm not wanting to give my kids more of anything is when I give them something and they do not seem appreciative. They don't take care of it, right? But when I want to give them more, it's because they are appreciative and they're gracious for what I am giving them and they're treating the things that I've already given them well, right? It's the same with God, right? He wants to see if you can be trusted with little, you can be trusted with much. So we have to be grateful for what we've already been given. This was huge for me. I wrote out a big gratitude list, and it's really awesome to see that your gratitude list will most likely be double the size of your wish list. We have so much in this life that we've already been blessed with, that we've already been, given. And it goes from, yes, our family and those like bigger things to having running water, a vehicle that'll get us from A to B, electricity, living in a free country, those things that we take for granted so much. And we take a second to just position our hearts in that state of gratitude, your mindset will change, right? Because those things, it's so easy to look at what more we want. But when we take a step back and look at what we've already been given, and I want you to think about in your business too. It's so easy to look at the ranks that we're not at yet, the places that we've fallen short. And I'm very guilty of this because if anybody's hard on anybody, I am the hardest person on myself. But I will say, when I look back and I look at the lives that I've impacted, the friendships that I've been gifted through this community, even if I just had that, I would be blessed beyond measure. So we have to make sure that we're taking the time to do this, and don't skip this step. It's really easy to skip this step, but I want you guys to go into this having complete clarity as to, yes, what you want, but also understanding what you've already been given and being grateful for that too. Okay, and step 3. So I want you to find 3 things on your goal list. So like I said, this isn't something that you're going to be able to do right now, but it's something through the next week that I want you to work on. And then we are going to have a vision party once you have your goals set, that we can all hop on together and we can create something pretty that we can print out and keep in front of us, to be able to constantly visualize that every day. I was going to say to choose 3 goals to focus on, per quarter, but honestly, depending on what your goals are, I don't know how long they're going to take you, right? There's some things that are going to take longer than others. I can tell you that most of the time, some of your goals are going to influence some of the other ones. Most of the time, that's going to be your income. Okay. Again, money is not icky. The more money we make, the more we can bless others. Okay. If you want to go on vacation, if you want to decorate your house, if you want to bless your neighbors, if you want to help families in need, if you want to give to charities, if you want to, help your parents, if you want to have a college fund for your kids, all of those things require resources. And we are sitting on a gold mine of resources in this business. We just have to show up for it and we have to grow. to be able to get there, right? Because the person that we are today is not the person who can handle the kind of success that we are looking for, right? We have to be able to bridge that gap. So we have to grow into that person and show up for that. But I want you to think of those 3 goals that you're going to focus on, that if you hit those goals, some of the other things would fall into place. Okay. And this is kind of like a half step in between 3 and 4. But whatever that is, whatever those goals are, I also want you, this is something that I've done this past year. I want you to find a virtual mentor, a friend, somebody who has already excelled in this area of life that you are looking to excel in. So this could be another coach. It could be somebody on our team. It could be somebody famous. It does not matter. We have a plethora of resources available to us with the internet, with social media, with books right now. So for instance, if you're somebody who struggles with consistency, like Melanie Mitro is who I always followed when I struggled with consistency. If you're somebody who's looking to grow in leadership, like make sure that you are not reading books just because somebody else suggested to you, because you are different. We are all different, right? None of us were created equal. We were all different. So you have to do what's going to grow you in the areas of life that you need to grow in. So if you're looking to grow in leadership, maybe pick up a John Maxwell book and grow in that aspect. If you're somebody who struggles with emotional eating or something like that, maybe you really dig into the 2B mindset, and that's your resource. You read Alana Molstad's book and really grow in that area. But all the things, and maybe it's your marriage. Maybe you want to grow in your relationship or your marriage. Then maybe you find somebody who has the kind of relationship that you're looking for, and you send them a message. You guys, it's so flattering to get messages like this, but even if it's a business goal that somebody else has hit and they've grown their business the kind of way that you want to grow it. Okay. Not that somebody hit 5-star and you're like, okay, they hit 5-star, I'm going to message them. No. Are they running the kind of business you want to run? And then message them and say, hey, I see that you are excelling in this area of life, and I really admire you. Would you be willing to give me 2 to 3 steps or suggestions that maybe you took to achieve that goal? The coolest thing is these resources kind of streamline our journey. They help us to hit the goals quicker than the other person, right? And a lot of people are willing to do that. There's a reason we walk through storms in life. It's so that we can help other people avoid them. Okay. So with those 3 goals that you're focusing on, I want you underneath them to write down what kind of resources that you are going to be looking at, who you're going to be following. If you're somebody who's looking for income, Dave Ramsey is so great to become debt free. All these things, do your research. Okay. Make sure that this isn't just like a quick, like you've done it before, probably I'm going to hit, elite, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, with no back end about it. Okay. Make sure that you guys are being strategic with this. Let me just make sure, because I haven't looked at my notes at all. I think that's okay. Okay. And then the last one is going to be to reverse engineer by quarter, by month, by week, by daily. Okay. When you're doing reverse engineering, I want you guys to think like a man. I know that Greg's on here. Literally take all emotion out of it. When you're doing this, it's not about, oh my gosh, how am I going to send that many invites? Or, oh my goodness, how am I going to do that? No. Right now, you are putting your CEO hat on and you're saying, okay, I am right here and this is where I need to go. What are those steps that I need to take in between? There's no emotion in it. It's just, this is the plan that I need to execute to get there, and I'm going to do it. So obviously that looks different depending on what your goal is, but I'm going to walk you through what that would look like if we're setting a business goal to be a 2-star diamond, and I'm pretending that maybe I'm an emerald coach right now, or maybe I'm just going to hit diamond, by the end of this year or in January. But we're going to kind of walk you through what that reverse engineering would look like. Okay. So this might look scary to some of you, but I'm going to tell you, for every 10 working coaches that you recruit, maybe one of them will actually be a runner. Okay. These are working coaches. I'm not talking about discount coaches. I'm saying 10 people who tell you that they have your vision, that they're going to do the work, that they're going to show up. Out of 10 of those, one will actually do it. Okay. So that means if you're not building your spouse account, which you obviously can, but I'm saying that this is 2 working coaches, okay, that you want to get to Star Diamond with. 2-star diamond. You need 20 working coaches through the year. So breaking that down to a quarter, that's 5 working coaches per quarter. That's 2 to 3 working coaches a month. So that means per month, if you wanted to recruit 2 to 3 working coaches, how are you going to do that? You're going to be hosting sneak peeks. You're going to be hosting what is coaching webinars, right? And then weekly, when you break that down, you have to make sure that you're doing your vitals, right? You are filling out and completing your business activity tracker at least 5 days a week. You are posting coaching breadcrumbs. You are posting call to actions. You're talking on your stories about coaching, about what it's doing. It doesn't mean you're always posting a call to action, but weekly, you're at least posting one, and you are talking about what coaching's done for you. And you can even write a list of the different areas of life that it's affected you and just run through that cycle every single week. And you're making your push goal that you recruit 1 working coach a week. And remember, you guys, this is working coaches. If you want to advance in rank, if you want to advance to star diamond, that means you need business builders below you. So you have to be talking about building a business. And then breaking that down to daily actions, that means that you're inviting to coaching every single day. Those 5 days at least that you're completing your business activity tracker, you're making sure that those are including coaching invites. And then you're talking about coaching in your stories. Somebody who's great to follow, and I know April's talked about this, Holly Hillier literally talks about coaching every single day. There's some things that I think are great about that and other things that I don't. I think there's, you can talk about it in a way that's just like, I'm grateful for this because of the community. Like, I literally think about 2020, and I just want you to think about what your life would be like without this, like without this community. I wouldn't even want to think about not having these workouts, not having Shakeology or all the tools and resources that we have, having the community, the friendships, like the business. I don't know what I would do without it. But there's hundreds of thousands and millions of people out there who are going through 2020 right now without this. And it's our job to bridge that gap for them and to just share our heart. This business speaks to different people in different ways, right? So it's just our job to share about how it speaks to us. So this is what it would look like. I think that's everything that I want to talk about that. But this is just an example. Like, I suggest if you're diamond or below, that this is your goal. You want to hit 2-star, right? By next year. Could you absolutely do it before the end of the year? Absolutely. But I want you to look at what your numbers are now and what you're doing, and realize that it's going to take work. You have to show up to the plate if you want to do this. You can't, I was listening to Julie Boris's call today in our 1 to 2-star diamond group. And she's like, you can't miss a launch and not prepare for it or not work for it. And then afterwards be like, why isn't my business working in 2021? Like, if you don't show up for it, you can't expect anything out of it. It's the same with building leaders or, boosting your rank. If you're not showing up for it, you can't expect it, Okay. So I think that's all I have on that. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Let me get out of this.
I don't think we have, I'm sorry, I don't have a question, but one thing that you said that I absolutely love, because I have been, saying I'm going to set these big goals, and then my actions have not. Just truthfully, in November, my actions did not match me saying I will be a 15-star coach. So admitting to yourself that you're not as disciplined as you should be or think you are, or like, when you went that part, I was like, oh, that was like a dagger to the heart, because, but I needed that. And I think so many people probably on this call also needed that. So everything you said was just spot on. I'm really excited to go through and do all these things.
Good. Yeah, I think those ones are going to be the hardest part for everybody, because it wasn't easy for me to admit that I was like an impulsive person and made decisions and like lived my life to please other people. Those aren't good qualities to have, It's not, and especially even like, I hated even talking about alcohol. It's not that I drank often, like I said, but when I did drink, I would get to the point where I would drink more than I wanted, and then I'd be disappointed in myself. And then what do you do when you drink? You eat bad food, right? And then you're so disappointed in yourself the next day. And, it's just not worth it. So I knew it was something that I needed to walk through, and it wasn't easy. It's never going to be easy, but those are the things that grow you the most. And they, when you grow in those areas, you thrive in other areas of your life, your relationships and, your marriages. And and your motherhood and everything like that. So yes, absolutely.
So I think on that, I just want a little bit of clarification for step one, where you said
Yes.
write your Christmas list. And then, so we talked about like being specific with like your actual numbers and things like that, which I love. I think it's so much better. Anytime you put a goal, it always needs to have a date with it. And then you also have to be super specific. So I like that you addressed that. But okay, so you're writing your Christmas list and you're saying everything you want. But then that was the same part where you're saying, you're disciplined, people pleaser, impulsive. So how are you saying for us to include that? Just like, I don't know. It's everything
So
you
for
want, and
me,
then
I put them in different areas. Like I put business, like my business goals, so like Beachbody goals, whatever that looked like.
okay.
And then I did personal, meaning like physical body, like things I wanted to focus on myself. And like I said, these are obviously going to be different for everybody. But I did Beachbody, I did physical body, I did relationships. So what area in motherhood, what was something that I wanted to focus on motherhood? One thing that I really focused on this year was I always tell my kids, like, just 1 minute, give me 1 minute. And I was tired of saying that, like, because I was on my phone or I was doing something else. Marriage, like, how do I want my relationship and with my husband to be? Am I making sure we're doing a date night, even if it's a date night in? But you need to have that time to grow in your relationship and make that your priority. And then my friendships, it was honestly like, who am I surrounding myself with? I had to cut a lot of friends out of my life this year because I realized that they weren't serving me, or my family. So that was part of it. Um, and then it, like, income was with business, but I also did it as an overall, like what I wanted our debt to income ratio to look like and what charities I wanted to donate to. And then I just did like a little part of what do I need to grow in, like discipline wise, consistency wise, people pleaser. Like those are just a couple things that I wrote down this past year. So I would just write down like different traits that you want to grow in. And honestly, for those things, pick one at a time. Like if a morning routine is something that you have been really struggling with, but know you need to get consistent on, put that down first and just say, for the month of December into January, I'm going to focus on being consistent with my morning routine. And you will see that when you get your morning routine, you'll be more consistent in other areas because you've made that your priority. And then tackle the next one. Okay, well, I was able to do my morning routine. Now I really want to focus on only drinking alcohol, once a week or however, whatever that is. You know what I mean? So make that like little list. So I just kind of separated them into categories.
Okay, that makes so much more help or sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry if that was confusing. Does anybody else have any questions about any of this? Is anybody willing to share their 2021 goals? Um, I love that. So I was actually going to host a free group in December, but I'm going to host it in January, and I'm going to do like how I do my goal setting, just like this. But I'm going to call it goal setting with God. Because, and if you're somebody who's faithful, honestly, when I set my goals, all I do is pray before and just ask God to like show me what it is that He sees for me this upcoming year. And it's always humbling. It's always like, oh, but that's not what I wanted, and but it's good. It's been a blessing. So I hope this was helpful. But if nobody else has any questions, that's really all that I have.
Well, we all have lots to dive into, and then Rachel and I are going to get together and figure out a time for that goal setting. And so it'll be a virtual vision party. And I think it would be really cool too. This could be something you could even invite your challengers to. We can make it a literal party, and bring a cold drink of your choice, and maybe we can have some type of theme of what we dress as. Like it can be lots of fun. Get them involved, and then if you have a challenger that shows up for this, they are definite coach material too. So we'll get together and get a date for you. It's going to be so much fun. Whether you're a crafty person or a Canva, it'll be great. So thank you so much, Rachel. This was so great. I have pages and pages of notes, and I'm super excited to set goals together. You're the best.
You are so welcome. Okay, can we stop the recording and take a picture?
Okay.
I
This is
can't
not-
see you. There you are. You want me to take a picture?
Yeah, but I went to stop recording, and when I made you the host,
Oh,
it
wait,
didn't.
maybe I can stop it. Stop cloud recording.